so we will get into this. So, let me start here. Oh, go back one. Okay. Look at that. Okay. Now look at my chest. Now look at that. Now look at my chest. I'm literally hypnotizing you. TTP philosophy. TTP is a very simple philosophy. It just means talk to people. Imagine a world where you could get the addresses for distressed property owners. And then you could get their name and the right phone number for them. This is bananas. What? And then what do? You have to do one thing. One thing. You got to take one action. You got to call and talk to them. That's it. You just talk to them. Let me give you an example off the bat of talking to somebody. Off of just one phone call, okay? Before we get in here. I'm going to hypnotize you some more. Off one phone call. We called a gal named Fran. Cowgirl Fran is how she wanted to be addressed. Off of one phone call. She was a tired landlord. And she told us on the phone that she wanted to sell her house. Her tenants just moved out. And she wanted to sell her property, and she wanted to sell fast for cash. She doesn't want to mess around. She doesn't want to repair it. She's too old for that. And we said, okay. We asked the important question, well, Fran, we buy properties cash. There's no real estate commissions. We pay all the fees. And the best part is you don't have to put another cent into it because we buy them as is. For an offer like that, what would you take? Well, all I need is $3,000. $3,000. So we're like, 3,000? Okay, so it's probably a trailer. It's probably like a vacant lot. It's probably something goofy here. Let's see what's going on here. We pull it up, and Zillow's out at $214,000. $214. So we're like, okay, this is going to be one of those, something's not right here. So we set the appointment. I actually go on this appointment to make sure that everything is working out, or everything lines up. And when we get there, she said, I'm sorry, I know I told you $3,000 for the house. I can't do that. I go, okay, here we go. Here's that $150, $175 she wants, right? I need $9,000 for this house, and it's yours. And I said, Fran, I'm going to record this if you don't mind. Okay? Got this little recorder thing. I want to make sure I'm going to record it just so that everybody's above board. Good? Are you comfortable? She goes, yeah, absolutely. I've been a broker for 35 years. I've been a real estate broker for 35 years. I said, well, Fran, if you've been a broker for 35 years, what do you think this property's worth? What do you think? If you just cleaned it up, if you just got the trash out of here from your tenants, what do you think you could sell for? She goes, oh, $200,000. I said, so why are you selling it to me for $9,000? Oh, honey, I just want you to make a bunch of money.
Wow. Wow.
I just want you to make a bunch of money. All right, Fran. Well, here's the deal. I'm going to give you this contract, but you got to review it with your attorney, and you got to sign this document, understanding that there's $191,000 worth of equity there. No problem. I sold it in 48 hours for $178,000.
I'm sure you did.
$178,000. She did not care about the money. She didn't. She didn't care. She just didn't care. She didn't have anybody to give it to. She didn't care about it. She didn't want the problem anymore. All because we picked up the phone and we called one phone number and had a conversation. It's incredible. It's powerful. Talking to people, especially if you don't have a huge marketing budget, is a huge, huge resource. It's another tool for you to use. And I'm going to go through. It's funny that Lance talked about the doing 50 deals. I'm going to give you 35 thoughts. And these will go quick. I'll let you take pictures. We're going to see if everybody's kind of on board here. Everybody's understanding what it is. But I'm going to give you 35 thoughts to adding 50 deals in the next 12 months. Because remember, on stage, there's three things going on. It's either education, entertainment, or instruction. I'm going to give you a whole hell of a lot of instruction. Because I want you to use this, take this, and implement it in your markets right now. Okay? Number one, this is it. This is what this whole conference has been about when it comes to sourcing opportunities. Now, I don't care if you're wholesaling it. I don't care if you're flipping it. I don't care if you're holding on to it for a rental portfolio. It doesn't matter. but it's about sourcing opportunities. If you can source opportunities all the time, you win. You're in the driver's seat of understanding what exit strategy you want. And it all comes down to one thing: quality conversations with distressed property owners. That's it. The people that we're going after are not people that want retail. They're not the people that have all their ducks in a row. We have to go after distressed property owners. There's a ton of resources in REI Blackbook to do that. There's a ton of resources to get lists of these people, right? But we have to have those quality conversations with them at some point. So why not initiate the conversation? You can literally have those conversations today, tomorrow, the next day, every single day. You don't have to wait around for it. There's only 3 ways to get business. You wait for it with referrals, which is an incredible way to build your business. It really is. If you are the guy or the gal that people go to in your market to bring deals to because they know you're the cash buyer, you're the investor, it is phenomenal. Your costs are low, you get a ton of deals, but it takes time to build this up. You have to build up your reputation. You have to be the one that closes all the time. You have to be really, really smooth. And it's not always predictable. Number 2 is you buy the business, right? You buy it through marketing and advertising. Through all the, you guys have heard about it this whole weekend. You know, it's direct mail, it's bandit signs, it's pay-per-click. It's whatever you're spending money on to get that business in, okay? But you are waiting for those calls to come in. You're hoping that those calls come in based on the investment that you made, based on the mentorship that you get, based on the materials that you send out, all right? Or you can go out and earn it. Earn it. You pick up the phone and you be proactive and you actually talk to people right now. You pick up the phone and you're on there and you're talking to a distressed property owner now. Is it more effort? 100%. Do you need to have better skills? 100%. Is it human intensive? Absolutely. Can you keep your costs super low? Totally. Unbelievably low. Can you net more money per deal? 100%. Does this make sense? Do you guys get this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we on the same page here? All right. 3, what does 50 more checks do? What does it look like? What does it mean to your income if you get 50 more checks? Can you imagine getting those wires into your account? I think there's a part of this, that mindset of what does that look like? What does that feel like? How does that do? That's the thing that keeps you going to get to the 50. Because the problem is, you get 10 checks, it feels good. You get 20 checks, it feels good. Can you get to that 50? Can you push it? Can you keep pushing it? Can you imagine getting to that actual 50? Because what you think about, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to manifest. Keep a close eye on your priority management. We have 168 hours in a week. If you sleep 8 hours a day, that's 56 hours. You work a full-time job, that's 40 hours. You got another 50, 60 hours. What are you doing? What are we doing? Can we squeeze out, can you find, for me, an hour a day to make calls, to call distressed property owners? I think so. Can you do it for 2 hours? Can you do it for 3 hours? What is the priority on this? It's all priority management. We have plenty of time. We have plenty of time. What are we doing with it? And be on offense. Destroy anxiety. I love that they're teaching you how to market. I love that the marketing materials that they give you, the lists that they provide, the resources on how to process all those are phenomenal. But there's an inherent anxiety with marketing. There is. You spend money and you hope and you wait for people to call you. And using these resources, people will call you. What about during that downtime where all of a sudden you start getting those crazy thoughts in your head? Did I put all the mailing addresses on those mailers right? Are they going out? I bet that mail house hasn't even sent them out yet. I haven't got a call yet. Right? All this anxiety, all this crazy. Did I just waste my money? What about in between there, if you stay busy making proactive calls while you're waiting for the calls to come in, it destroys all of that. It destroys all of it. I had a buddy that changed his ringtone to a cash register. Every time he got a lead call in. Right? Cha-ching, cha-ching! Cha-ching, cha-ching! We're out and about, we're at dinner, cha-ching, cha-ching, he's gone, right? We're at the gym, boom, cha-ching, cha-ching, he's gone. Cha-ching, cha-ching. He was worried about this cha-ching, cha-ching. It got him so much anxiety. He was hearing it in his sleep. He'd wake up! Cha-ching, cha-ching! Is that a deal? I can't miss it. 15,000. That's 10,000. There's an anxiety there if you're not filling your time in with being proactive. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes? 6, understand where your leads are coming from and your deals. Not just your leads. You can get a lot of leads from different sources. How many of them are actually closing? This is absolutely critical because it'll tell you how to predict your business. Where to spend the money, where not to spend the money, what your strengths and weaknesses are. You got to really watch what lists are doing it, right? Which, if I were to market to a certain list, or if I were to call more, if I were to talk to people and cold call on a list, which one gives me the best bang for my buck? And I'm going to show you which ones do for my business and for my coaching students around the country. But it leads into number 7, which is keep a scorecard and be obsessive about it. Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Here's the 6. How many people do I need to talk to get a lead? If you're making calls, how many people do you need to talk to get a lead? When I was doing it myself, I've got 2 numbers here that you guys will notice, okay? 2 numbers. One was when I was doing it myself, one when I have my staff do it, okay? I no longer made calls for a while. I've got an army of people to do it, and I'll explain that. But 17, it takes them 17 conversations to get a lead. It took me 15, okay? How many leads to get a deal? It takes them 60. I get a lot of bad leads from my cold callers, from my phone prospectors, okay? It was 15 for me. I needed 15 leads to get a deal when I was calling myself. How many cash buyers do you have? This is if you want to wholesale, right? This is if you want, and guys, wholesaling is just a cash machine. Wholesaling is not real estate investing, okay? It is just a cash machine. Wholesaling is the money you make, it is the bridge so that you can go and buy a bunch of assets, right? But it is hitting the lottery. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Anyway, cash buyers, how many cash buyers? Try to get to 10,000 as fast as possible. You need as many as possible. How much do I make per deal? How much do you make per deal? And how do you increase that? It just depends on what kind of deals you're doing. If you're flipping, there's a lot of different things that you can do there. Cutting your costs, keeping your crews tight, making sure that everything's on schedule. If it's wholesaling, it's just simply anchoring lower with the prices that you go with the sellers and then selling it higher to a bigger cash buyer database. How long do I have to prospect to get a deal? For my people, it's 68 hours. Every 68 hours they call, I get a deal. For me, personally, it was every 15 hours. I'd call 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, get a deal every single week. Build it, build it, build it, build it. Kept all that money. It cost nearly nothing. Every day, wake up with this question. Who's going to sign a contract today? Who's going to sign a contract today? That's the question every single morning you ask. Again, it's like, when you go, you start car shopping and you're like, I want to get a silver F-150 truck. And then all of a sudden you see silver F-150 trucks everywhere. They're just literally everywhere. You're like, now I don't even want it. I don't even want it now. It's the same thing with these deals. If you ask yourself, who's going to sign a contract today? You're going to go through your leads and it's going to be triage, right? It's going to be who is most likely to sign a contract. Triage, right? You go to the hospital, you have a cold, I have my arm cut off. Who are they treating first? Right? So it's triage. Go after the hottest leads first. Follow up with them and get in front of them and get the contract signed. Number 9. Only keep hot and warm leads, throw the rest away. Too many leads is a bad thing. Too many leads hide the best leads. A hot lead, in my definition, is somebody that's going to sign the paperwork. It's interesting, the words that we use in this business, right? You can say contract, but it creates a little bit of friction with the homeowner. You say paperwork, or better yet, the agreement. That sounds good. Yeah. Contract sounds, attorney. Right? Agreement sounds like, oh yeah, I guess we are in agreement here. Okay, just a little bit of words there. But throw out all of your old ones. All the people. There's so many people that'll waste your time and never do business with you. They want to know how much you're willing to offer them. They have nobody else to talk to. Literally, they will totally suck all of your energy out, and it'll prevent you from reaching out to the people that are actually going to do business with you. So get rid of all the looky-loos. Go through every lead that you have in your pipeline and really look at it and see how pre-qualified they are. And I'm going to show you the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying. Watch out for creative avoidance. See, the problem with being an entrepreneur is you can just kind of mess around, right? I gotta go mow the lawn, I can't make any calls today. You know what I mean? Oh man, I gotta take out the trash, I gotta pick up my kid, he needs new soccer shoes, so I should probably do that on Tuesday at 11 o'clock, because nobody's gonna be at the store then. That's a good idea, that's what I'll do. All these creative avoidance. Oh, I got this deal, I gotta make sure that title's on top of everything. I gotta make sure that the paperwork's perfect. I gotta make sure that my logo and my website and my business card look fantastic. All these things are creative avoidance to stop us from taking action and talking to people, talking to distressed property owners. So watch out for it, because it's real and it wants to hold you down. It creeps in because we feel like we're on little islands as entrepreneurs. Little islands as real estate entrepreneurs out there. We're at home and we're committed to this, and all of a sudden there's so many different distractions that stop us from picking up the phone and communicating with property owners. Core elements of every seller. This is something that I discovered, and it was something interesting because I looked at every single deal that we had done. Every single deal. And I wanted to see if there was a commonality, if there was core elements to every single seller that we worked with. Because then I can reverse engineer, try to figure out how to target those people more effectively. And there's 3 core elements. They want to sell. We kept getting frustrated and frustrated and frustrated because there was people that needed to sell their property. It was literally getting worse by the day. They were going to foreclose. There was a tax sales. They needed to sell that they wouldn't sign a contract. They wouldn't sign a contract. They have to want to sell the property. Okay? Number 2, they trust you to get the deal done. There has to be trust there. They have to trust that you will get the deal done, that they will get their money when you say that they will. It's absolutely huge. If they don't have that trust, they're not going to work with you. And if they do sign the agreement, the paperwork, then they'll back out on you if they don't trust you. Right? 3, they have a problem that you can solve. If they want above retail, you can't solve that problem. If they've got a rental property that they signed with an under market lease for the next 10 years, you can't solve that problem. But there's plenty of other problems that you can solve. That's how we get paid. That's the value. Our income in this business equals the amount of value we provide to the marketplace. The value we provide to the marketplace is we solve somebody's problem, somebody's motivation, somebody's reason to sell. They're trading their equity for speed and convenience for a reason. There's a problem there. Find the problem. The best list to call first. Oh my goodness. Okay. Best list to call first. Driving for dollars. You guys have been talking about it. The flights talked about it. Driving for dollars is absolutely number 1. It is a custom list. It is absolutely, everybody on that list is distressed. Every single one. At least the property is. Right? Or they wouldn't be on your driving for dollars list. We use the Deal Machine app. It's great. Thanks to them. Hacking it. But driving for dollars is it's a custom list. The harder the list is to get, the better the list is, right? If you can just pay $50, $100 for the list, everybody can do it. There's going to be competition.